So what are daily reports? Daily reports are reports that you are asked to write on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, if you have to write a report on day-to-day basis, usually templates are available, be it the Excel sheet, be it a fixed tracker template. So this is a format of a daily report. So this is a daily sales report of an organization where they're writing the product name, the color, the size, the tag price, the discount, and then they can actually calculate the total amount of sales that has been made by the end of the day. So this is, so you can have a daily expense report, daily attendance report, daily report, anything. Yeah. Now, next, let's move on how to write weekly or monthly reports. So this is one of the formats you can write weekly or monthly reports. Like you can start by writing the title and the report date. So suppose you want to write the report for the month of June. And then you can write that who all are working on the report and what are their roles. Then we can summarize. We can start by summarizing the activities that happened in the month of June in 2-3 lines. Okay, and then it's best to demarcate and distinguish between tasks that have been completed and tasks of June that will go on till July. Right? So list of completed tasks and list of in progress tasks. And then if some massive outcome or accomplishment has been made in that month, we can spend 2 lines on that. And after every progress report, it's best to mention any challenge that you are facing or any solution that you want to give to the management, any recommendation, any conclusion as an employee. And we can also discuss the future plans. So future plans for the next quarter, future plans for the next month. So yes, all this is really theoretical. Let's just go on to a live example of this. So you can read a sample of a social media manager report. See. So the monthly status report. Last month, our team took several steps towards completing our current social media marketing campaign and planning a new campaign for a new product to be launched in June. So this is just a quick summary of what happened in June. Now they have listed 3 tasks that they finished in the month of June. So they made a new marketing campaign for the new product. Then they wrote blogs on Friday. They posted on Instagram, they made reels, and they made paid advertisements on every Saturday and Sunday. So this is what has been completed. Next, the in progress tasks. So in progress is the new social media campaign for the new product. And then the social media calendar for the next month. And how will you, run paid advertisements for the next month. Now, after all this, after all the efforts, if you want to give the top management how much outcome came out of the money that was spent on social media. So you can quote in figures like the blog had 10,000 views, the reels had 1 lakh views. Last month, the company had followers increased by 1,200, likes were increased. And now what you are suggesting is that since everybody wants a personal touch in social media, so why not post videos of employees, senior executives? And last is your future plan. So future plan will be how and what to do in the month of July. And the team suggests that you sit down with the marketing team and brainstorm for new content. So their problem is that through their report, they're trying to tell the top management that we are running out of content and you will have to help us to get new content. So this is just an example. And this actually explains how to write reports. If we have to write very big reports like project reports and survey reports. So this is a standard way of writing a project report. So when we are writing a project report or a survey report, we can start with the title page. So title page has the title and the list of authors and probably to whom it is submitted, by whom it is submitted, right? So the title page that we see. So I'm not going to take a lot of time by explaining what these things are. I'm just going to give you a few tips and tricks to make these project reports more interesting. So suppose you are making a list of contents. So we have this option in references in Word doc to make this table of contents a clickable way. So it will direct you to the page. So for example, someone directly wants to go to the methodology. So where if they click on the methodology, it will straight away take them to the methodology. And then another trick I would like to share with you guys is that in the list of illustrations, what we do is that when we used to have a lot of textbooks, the figures used to be labeled as 1.1, 1.11, like 1.2.1, something like this. So these days, there is so much clutter in everybody's mind that if someone tells me that go to figure 1.2.1, I will not be able to recall. So what we can do is, it's best to label figures like this: figure 1, figure 2. And then what we can do is that just after the list of contents, we can actually have a list of illustrations also. So figure 1 is on this page, figure 2 is on this page. So this would be really helpful for the person who's reading the report. Next is the executive summary. So here, executive summary is a very tricky thing in a report writing where most of the people get stuck. So I'll tell you how to write the executive summary. Just think that an executive summary is a paragraph that should not exceed 150 words, and its language has to be completely different from the language that you have used in the report. So what is executive summary? Executive summary is for those people who do not have time to read your entire report. So you have to summarize your entire report in 150 words in a different language from an aerial perspective, from a top management point of view, where you have to write the introduction, the methodology, the result, the recommendation, and the conclusion. Everything has to be there in the executive summary. And how will you write it? Just by using this acronym CII. CII: simple, concise, independent, and informative. If you use these three words, you will be able to write executive summaries in a very good way. Don't use the language that you have written in the report. Make it concise. Don't add anything that is unnecessary. Make it informative and make it independent of the report, right? Next is introduction. So when after you're done with introducing the report, that what the report is about, what purpose it will solve, it's best to write down the limitations of the report here. So for example, if I have done integrity due diligence on some person and I'm aware of the information that social media is changing every day, and my last search was done 1 week back, and something drastically changes on social media, and I did not have the time to update the databases just while submitting the report, so I can write a disclaimer in the introduction that this report was last updated 1 week back, or we are not liable for any changes that have happened in the last 3-4 days, right? Then is methodology. So methodology means that how have you collected all the information. So if you have collected information from the primary sources, why have you selected the primary source for collecting information? If you have selected the information through secondary sources, why have you taken this? Why have you taken this database instead of this database? So all this can be written in methodology. Now we come to the results and findings. So people do not want text heavy results and findings. So it's best to always write your results. Either it is in if you want to show that sales are increasing, then always show it through bar graphs. If you want to show a shareholding pattern of a company or a director, always use a pie chart. Always try to include as many tables, as many charts, as many figures as you can, right? You can probably use a flow chart, anything that will make the conclusion more attractive to the reader, and it will say that yes, someone has really worked hard on the report, because crunching data is the key, right? Today a lot of money is being spent on crunching data, and that is the crux of the report, that how can you crunch the data that you have collected above. Now recommendations. Here I would like to give you a tip that whenever you're giving recommendations to a person or a report, first be very careful. Has the person asked you for recommendation? Don't give recommendation and don't give your opinions and perspective. So if and when someone asks you for your recommendation, Don't write something out of the report. Like, it is not there in the summary, it is not there in the introduction methodology, nothing is there. And suddenly, for example, Eddie is recommending that sell that company, but the data is showing otherwise. The data is showing that you should retain that unit. And then why is Eddie suggesting that sell that company, right? So it should be in line with the report, right? Recommendations, don't give your opinions, right? Don't give your opinions, don't give your perspective. Base your recommendations on the data that you have collected. And the last thing is when you have to conclude. So in conclusion, if you found any red flags in anything, red flags means any risks associated with the project or any risks associated with the survey, write that. Conclusion will be obviously rewording what we have written above. Essentially concluding is just rewording what we have written above in the report. But yeah, we can also mention some red flags.